Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, are the Clippers proving that they're legitimate title contenders? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you check out Dreamerspro Max, an online sports community, a place where you can go and start basketball discussions, chat live during games, and so many other cool things. If you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the description below and get 7 days of access. Also, make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel to receive loyalty badges from our channel, and also to ensure whenever we go live, your comments are responded to whenever we go live on our channel. So make sure you go ahead and click the join button. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So last night I saw the game, the highly anticipated game against the Clippers and the Lakers, and these two teams, whenever they meet, they're usually like, there's so much excitement and buzz around these two teams, right? Because it's always an event whenever these two guys end up meeting up with each other. And it's usually the matchup we've all been waiting to see, right? On Dreamerspro Max yesterday, again, it was live. So many people were on there chatting with us during the game because everybody wanted to see that matchup. Now, it was a bit anticlimactic, judging what happened in that first quarter with Anthony Davis getting injured. And it was a bit of a letdown. We heard in the first quarter that while he was playing, I think he jammed his foot against the bench, or whatever you want to call it, that table or whatever it was. And then at first it was an ankle issue because he was grabbing at his ankle. And then ultimately he was taken out of the game. And then we later found out that he was having some back spasms. So Anthony Davis looks like he hasn't been able to catch a break this season as far as his injuries. And really the Lakers as a whole. LeBron was injured, came back, re-aggravated his ankle, and then Anthony Davis and then Dennis Schroeder, who was out because of some of the protocol issues that they were having. So the Lakers haven't been able to catch a break. But that game yesterday was lopsided, right? And I was saying during the live chat, listen, irrespective of whether or not LeBron had played, I still think the Clippers have this advantage of hitting threes, right? And Frank Vogel said it, that, listen, we made it a point to try to get to their shooters, but they have so many shooters. And with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, with their ability to handle the ball and break down the defense, it creates so many open looks for shooters on that team. So ultimately, we didn't get the match that we wanted to see, but nevertheless, it was exciting to see these two teams, match up. Now, the Clippers all season have not been getting the benefit of the doubt from the media in general, right? They've not been getting the benefit of the doubt like other teams have, like the Suns. The Suns have been getting a lot of press. The Philadelphia 76ers. A lot of people are high on the Sixers, the Brooklyn Nets. A lot of people are high on the Brooklyn Nets, although none of these teams have actually gone out there and proven that they can win a title yet. But it's kind of similar to what happened to the Clippers last year. They didn't go out there, they didn't win the title, but prior to that happening, prior to them getting to the playoffs, a lot of people were very high on them, right? And the Clippers this year, have gone under the radar, it seems like, right? They've flown under the radar. Now, some fans of the team are very happy about it. Skip Bayless has come out on TV on numerous occasions saying, listen, just forget about us. Relegate us to the basement, as they say, the team in the basement. Just leave us there. Don't worry about us. We're going to creep upon you when you least expect, and we're going to bite you. So that's kind of been the story, with them. But the Clippers, to their credit, at every opportunity where a challenge has presented itself, they performed at a high level. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about when they've had the opportunity to go against some of the best teams in their conference. They've really held their own, right? They've played the Lakers 3 times this season. They've beat them all 3 times. Now, the first time they played them, LeBron and AD were there. They were pretty much at full strength. The last 2 times they played them, LeBron and AD were absent. They didn't play in the second meeting, and this last meeting, Anthony Davis didn't play virtually, right? He only played the first quarter and he was out of there. But nevertheless, they've beaten them 3 times. They played the Suns. They have a 2-1 record against the Phoenix Suns. So they've beaten them twice and lost to them once. The Nuggets, though, however, they've lost to the Nuggets twice and beat them once. They beat them on Christmas Day, and they've lost the last 2 matchups to the Denver Nuggets. For whatever reason, it seems like that matchup is not a favorable matchup to the Clippers, kind of similarly to what I believe about the Clippers and the Lakers. I think, for whatever reason, the Denver Nuggets are a bad matchup for the Clippers, and I think it's the same exact thing for the Lakers. I think that the Clippers are a bad matchup for the Lakers. Now, obviously, Laker fans, LeBron fans are going to disagree with me, but this is just my opinion, right? This is what I think. You guys have a right to feel the way you feel, and I have a right to feel the way I feel. No problem. The Clippers have gone 2-1 against the Utah Jazz. Now, the Utah Jazz are the number 1 team in the Western Conference, and they've been able to hold their own against that team. right? So they've done well against them, and the Dallas Mavericks, who were a bit of a nuisance last playoffs when they met them in the first round. They were a bit of a troublesome team. I think they took them to 6 games, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6 games. I don't remember the exact outcome of that series. They're 2-1 against the Mavs. Now, we all remember that loss, the infamous loss that they suffered at the hands of the Dallas Mavericks early in the season when I think they lost, or they were down by like 50 points in halftime. But overall, the Clippers have been doing very well against the best teams in the Western Conference. And that's something that to me, that says is this team can play in the West. They're legitimate because they've gone up against the best and they've held their own and they're doing well. Paul George is having a bounce back season this year for the Clippers. Last season, he didn't perform so well in that first year. Now, some people may say, oh, listen, Paul George was injured. Whatever the case may be, it wasn't his best season. This year for the Clippers, however, he's really taken his game to another level. Not another level, but he's played much better. This season, he's averaging 23.6 points per game. He's shooting 47% from the field, which is 3 percentage points higher than what he shot last season. So kudos to him. He's much more efficient. He's shooting 42% from the three-point line. That's a career high for Paul George from the three-point line. He's shooting 87% from the free throw line this year, getting you 6.6 rebounds. His rebounds are up this season compared to last season. His assists are up. Last year, he got you 3.9 assists. This year, he's getting you 5.2 assists. He's getting you 1.2 steals, virtually the same steals. And we made a video recently asking the question, listen, is Paul George the most consistent Clipper on this team? I said he has been, right? Everybody's missed games on this team, but he's been the guy that they've been able to go through down the stretch. Last night, he played well. He had a decent night. He had a very good night last night. The night prior, he hit a very big shot to help them secure that win against, against the Toronto Raptors. So Paul George, to me, I think he's come back. He's answered in a major way. I think the team got better with the addition of Rajon Rondo, right? Rondo, you saw his value yesterday on full display. You saw his value on the court. The team is they have a different flow when Rondo's on the court. He's always talking, he's always communicating, he's always hitting guys in the right pocket that they need to be in. He's a great defender. He gets in the passing lane. He's helped them with their passing, right? His passing has helped his team. His leadership is helping the Clippers. And his experience, you can see it. Even when you were watching the game last night, what's his name? Oh my God, Reggie Miller, who was analyzing the game. He said, "Listen, you can just see that this team has improved with Rondo. You can see his effect immediately." Another addition that I think has given him another complexion, more depth, is the addition of DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins has been playing pretty well, given the role that he has and the expectations that he has. Think back to this. DeMarcus Cousins was early he was brought in on a 10-day contract. Then they renewed a second one, and now look how he's playing. He's going to be on the team for the rest of the season, and he's been giving him some good minutes, right? He's giving him a different look. He's stretching the floor. He's playing defense. He can get in the post. He can get his shot. So DeMarcus Cousins has been a great addition. Think of Nicholas Batum, right? Nicholas Batum was playing so good that he found himself in the starting lineup. Now, listen, obviously Marcus Morris Sr., who I've said is my favorite Clipper, he was injured at the beginning of the season, but ultimately when he came back, Nicholas Batum still stayed in that starting lineup for some games till he ultimately was moved to the bench when Marcus Morris Sr. moved into move back into the starting lineup. But Nicholas Batum has been a glue guy for them, right? He's been another guy that's helped that second unit, and in some cases he's been out there in the fourth quarters really helping that offense flow. Marcus Morris Sr. is a monster. I think he's one of the top 5 3-point shooters in the NBA this season. He's been amazing for this team, and that's why I said I was very, very excited when they went out there and signed this guy and extended his contract with this team. And now hopefully people are seeing the value of Marcus Morris Sr. I love every single thing this guy brings to this team. Toughness, 3-point shooting, grit. He can play in the post. He has a beautiful game. He's a dynamic scorer. He can defend. I love Marcus Morris, and I think he's helped the team, given that he has like a full season under his belt with this roster. Remember last year they acquired him midway through the season. Now he's had a full year with the team to gel and kind of mesh, something the Clippers did not have last season. I think what you're looking at right now, first of all, I think they're legitimate contenders, and I think this is not even the best version of the Clippers yet, because they still don't have Serge Ibaka. Kawhi Leonard is still under minutes restriction, so I think there's room for improvement. You can say the same for other teams as well, right? But there's still room for improvement with this team, and I think they're going to get better. Patrick Beverley is slowly starting to make his way back into the lineup, so I think they're beginning to hit their stride, but they're not there yet. Hopefully, they use the remainder of these games to really get their legs under them. I don't think it's going to be possible for the Clippers to fall any further in the standings right now. If I look at the Western Conference standings, number one, The Clippers are amongst the 4 teams in the Western Conference that have already clinched the playoff spot. That's number one. Number two, as we speak, currently they're the number 3 seed in the Western Conference, right? And then behind them is the Denver Nuggets, or the number 4 seed, but they have similar losses. And both teams have 22 losses. If you look at the next team at the 5th spot in the Dallas Mavericks, they have 28 losses. So there's 6 losses clear of the number 5 seed in the Mavs. So the Clippers are not going to fall below 4. Right, they have about 5-6 games left in the season. They're not going to fall below 4. The season is ending next week, so they're going to end up in one of those top spots. I think it's going to be highly unlikely that they catch the Phoenix Suns for the number 2 spot, because they're 3 games behind the Suns in the loss column. But nevertheless, I still think they're going to be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. They're probably going to end up as that 3rd spot, and we'll end up seeing. Ultimately, we'll end up seeing how they'll be once the playoffs begin. I think yesterday, another thing you guys got to pay attention to, the 3-point shooting. So, some folks were saying, LeBron would have made a difference. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if LeBron playing in that game is going to limit the three-point attempts that the Clippers are going to get. The Clippers are making about 14.5 3-pointers a game. I don't see how LeBron James mitigates that. Right? He's one person. He's not going to guard everybody. Right? So, listen, I think they have a lot of good things for them. They're not out of the water. I still think highly of the Lakers. I'm not writing them off. I still think the Lakers and the Clippers are the 2 best teams in the Western Conference, but I think the Clippers are loaded. I think they're primed for a good playoff run. Obviously, they still got to go out there and do it, but right now they're looking like legitimate contenders to me, in my opinion. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think they're contenders or pretenders? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoy the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.